Hello and welcome from the Tech.AD 2019 here in Berlin. My name is Suzanne and I'm here with Matthieu Worm, Program Lead Autonomous Driving at Siemens. Welcome to the conference and thanks for your time to take part in this interview.
Oh, thank you.
Could you briefly introduce yourself and give a few insights into your personal background?
Yeah, so my name is Matthieu Worm. I work for Siemens, and as you mentioned, I lead a program for autonomous vehicle development. What we work with customers on is, in fact, a simulation and testing environment to develop autonomous vehicles. So we deliver digital twin technology during the different stages, from the smallest chip components up to the urban city level, mobility system level, and all the stages in between, to validate performance and to optimize the design of these cars.
Apart from autonomous driving, what are the other factors that will revolutionize our understanding of mobility?
Yeah, definitely electric powertrains. So I think these two come along, the autonomous track and the electrification track. Yeah, in the end, it's a big transition towards mobility as a service. That's where it all moves to. And I think the past weeks actually fully confirmed that now everybody seems to agree that we move in that direction. Especially the announcement that BMW and Daimler say we're going to join forces rather than compete to bring people from A to B, I think is a very strong confirmation that we are on that track. And that's important to reduce the number of vehicles, on the street that you see everywhere, to have less air pollution and a nicer place to live. I think it's I think in 5 years' time we will look back, 10 years' time we will look back at this period like something that was actually very old, that we really accepted cities like this with so many vehicles around everywhere and dominating our lives. So time for a change.
So as you already mentioned it, let's hop right to your topic of your case study, from chip to city. Can you explain that a bit further?
Yeah, and that ties into this mobility as a service projection. We used to work very strongly with the automotive industry, developing cars, optimizing on fuel consumption, on comfort levels, on noise and vibration levels. We can no longer look at the vehicle as a mechanical component that you produce and that you sell to customers. We need to look at mobility as a whole, because these cars become part of a system of systems. And that's then upwards and downwards. The cars become computers. The intelligence of the vehicle increases very rapidly. So we can also expect that there will be very soon AV-specific chips being developed rather than chips that you buy off the shelf. And we somehow need to bring some continuity in that development and validation verification process. So we need to be able to share a digital twin copy of the chip to the teams that come next building the system, to the teams next that build the car, and to the teams next that put all these cars in bigger systems. So it's that continuity, I think, that becomes important. And yeah, with Siemens we now have a portfolio after multiple acquisitions over the past 5 to 10 years that we can actually bring that continuity in the development process.
How does a closed loop model-based design process look like?
Yeah, it is it's a step away from the traditional V model that currently is being used in the automotive industry to develop a product. So right now we develop a product and then you throw it onto the market, you sell it to your end customer, and you will never see it back, only for some maintenance, some irregular maintenance maybe. We work towards a development process where the vehicle comes onto the road, is being used, generates data. That data is being fed back into the development cycle. A new software load is being created and pushed over the air into these vehicles. So the product is no longer done. The product is never done. You continuously improve that product and add new features to the product. So it's that loop that we close. It's no longer an open end where you throw products into the market. It's a closed loop thing, and you maintain a relationship with the product also over time.
And can you give some examples how the industry can adopt your suggestions?
Yeah, so there's endless numbers of initiatives going on. I think the entire industry is at a point where they acknowledge that this trend is there and will not go away. There is a strong analogy with the mobile phone industry. It took quite a long time for Nokia to realize that they actually needed to develop their own chips, because that was where the IP was. I think we see that trend also now landing into the automotive domain. Tesla has now announced we will build our own chip. We can no longer rely on NVIDIA technology or NXP technology in itself. So the trend is there, and our customers naturally ask these questions to us. So I think it's there could be endless examples to illustrate that this actually takes place right now.
And what is your wish for autonomous vehicle in the future?
My personal wish?
Yes.
I wish a lot. I mainly wish a nicer city. That's, I think, what I mainly look for. So I would like to see less cars on the road, a lot more open space.
So less pollution. Less
pollution for sure, and also less ugly objects in all the streets, right? And the packed streets that you see everywhere. So for me, it's mainly the improvement of urban life and what I just mentioned. The day that we look back, really not understanding these old pictures with all these cars on the road, where we say, how could we ever accept a situation that is like this? Yeah.
So thank you for taking the time for this little chat.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Enjoy
Thanks.
the conference.
All right.